Next one we have is actually not part of the tournament. It's for the Women's World Championship. It's Toni Storm versus Megan Bayne. Of course, she's been making a name of herself, just knocking around the larger women of the roster, showing her strength and stuff.
And DJF and I are the only one that decided to be contrarians. We went for Megan Bayne because when you think about it, Toni does not need this title. She has already had her run. Megan Bayne is like a powerhouse. She can actually do moves in the ring. You may be still wet behind the ears there, but she can actually wrestle. And she's like Jade, except she can wrestle. And she, she's strong. She should have won the match. She would have been a great person to hold a title and then have everyone challenge her for it. Be like a powerhouse, I would think.
I'm sure it'll come eventually, though. It's maybe because she's still too new and all that. I still feel that having Penelope Ford help her cheat kind of
that's annoying me too, the whole Penelope Ford thing. But she should not need anybody to help her because she's already dominated on her own. Why does she need a stooge to help her?
Yeah. So, anyways, the match starts out with a rocky-ish theme. I don't know if it's the Rocky theme.
Oh no, it was like a bootleg version of it.
It was like a lawyer-friendly version of it. And Toni came up like full on Rocky, and you actually had a little montage of her like working out and doing the steps and all that kind of junk.
The other thing missed was her punching me.
Yeah.
But Hog wasn't available.
Yeah. So anyways, so she comes up with the robe and all that, and Luther came out like Mickey, and he was actually doing all the come on, you can do it, all that kind of thing. Oh man, I guess because I don't know, legal trouble or whatever, but I would have loved to come on, Toni, we're gonna make you eat lightning and drop thunder and all that kind of stuff. But anyways,
they were in Philadelphia, so
yeah. So they're fighting it out, and there's the part where Luther was on his knees, and Toni stepped on him and used him as extra leverage to do a spinning DDT on Megan Bayne. That was pretty cool. Penelope kept interfering until Luther flat out just picks her up and carries her to hell out of the ring. And whatever happens there, that's between those two. And yeah. So Bayne took 4 of Toni's flying big ass attacks, because that's the ass, that's not the hip that's hitting you. And she still kicked out at 1. So in other words, Bayne can take a lot of ass. So Bayne did several body slams, and she's about to pick up Toni for one last, big slam to win the match. But Toni actually grabs her with an inside cradle pin and wins, or actually what she calls it, the small package pin, and wins. Which of course she always later in interviews or whatever says, "Oh yes, she took the package. I gave her the biggest package she's ever taken in her life," and all that kind of innuendos.
See, that's the only reason they let her win, so she can make up have excuses and opportunities to say crap like that.
Mm-hmm.
And be all extra whatever. Like I said, in my opinion, Bayne should have won this match, but I do have a problem with the finish. I'm sorry. She took all that damage, and she could kick out of all that other stuff that should be normal finishers for people. But then that finish, that's what does her in. Yeah. She kicked out at what do you say,
like 4 different flying ass attacks.
And with a 1 count, but she couldn't handle that finish.
And then the other thing, I don't know how I think they mentioned one time that the wrestler just knows really well when to snap their head back. It always looks so nasty. Every time she does the flying ass attack on the person, it looks like instant concussion and whiplash at the same time. The way the head just hits hard the turnbuckle behind you, right? It looks like your head's gonna, the opponent's head's gonna fucking pop off.
Or the neck, get some neck damage there. Or no, Edge's neck damage situation. I mean,
But apparently from what I hear is that Toni, despite the visual, she knows not to throw her full weight, and the person knows how to roll their head back with it to synchronize it. But that still looks like, if the timing is off, man.
Well, it could be worse. It could be stink face from Rikishi.
Yeah.
Or the bonsai drop from Yokozuna.
Yeah.
Any thoughts, guys?
Okay. Well, I did think the intro was kind of funny. I mean, I forgot that they were in Philly. And then she starts off with the whole Rocco intro. We can't call it Rocky, That was Rocco, so that was a good knockoff. Um, the match was pretty impressive. One thing that I did see that I thought was really, really scary was in the middle of the match, there was a part where Toni Storm had did a suplex on Megan off the second rope. And it didn't look like Megan had rotated her head enough, and it almost looked like she smacked her face in the apron.
I remember that now. Yeah.
Yeah, that part looked like yeah, she might have hurt something. But I agree with you. There's one thing I agree with you with, Wendy, and one thing I disagree with you with. Yeah, sure, Megan Bayne shouldn't have won that match. Now, this shouldn't have been a title match, but she shouldn't have won that match because it's still too early for her, to be winning. She just got into AEW not that long ago. But the one thing I do agree with you with, she is actually a strong wrestler on her own. Her character does not need a lackey. Like, sure, Tony's got her Luther. Bane shouldn't, Bane doesn't need a lackey. Like, she's strong enough. She doesn't need like a entourage character to interfere in the matches for her.
Mm-mm.
I will say this though. Luther was the handiest weapon I've ever seen in AEW between the spinning DDT off of his back and Bane just pretty much La Plancha diving on him. He was one of the more valuable tools in that match. So I got to give props to Luther for
Right, she
that
did
one.
a dive and he took it for Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was the most valuable object in that game, in that match. But still, you know, give
That was a
Bane a
weapons match.
couple more matches, then yeah, I can see her being a Tony Storm later on down the line. But right now, she's a bit too new. They need to kind of work on her a little bit. Get rid of Penelope or let Penelope have a solo run, whatever the hell they're going to do with her. And I think they'll be all right. Now, the
Yeah, 'cause that's the
last
thing I
part,
think about Penelope. It is like I don't like you said we shouldn't need her, but it gives maybe something to do because she's whatever. I mean, this gives her an excuse to be on TV every week.
Yeah, but the other thing too, they keep trying to build the way they're trying to sell Megan Bayne is that she's like she keeps to herself. She's quiet. She doesn't, like a lone wolf type. She shouldn't have, like I said, she shouldn't need that. I mean, you can't have it both ways. You can't be a lone wolf, but you also still need a lackey. That don't make
hmm,
sense.
And you can't be like a powerful heel, but you still
But you
need a
still
lackey.
need a lackey to interfere in your matches. I mean, she's not Moxley.
Like imagine, oh, that's a good example. Imagine if what's his face, uh, what's his stupid name, Brock Lesnar back when his dominant era. Imagine him needing, I don't know, Hornswoggle to help him cheat during the matches or whatever. It's like you don't
I
need him
mean,
there.
there is one way they could resolve this whole thing.
Mm.
Let's see.
Andrew?
Uh, I don't know. Make Penelope a solo wrestler, seeing as they don't have that many women in their women's division, because a lot of them are either getting injured or going to AEW or doing more independence. Hmm. Nah, we wouldn't do
Yeah,
anything like
that's
that.
a crazy idea.
Everything is great.
But going back to what you were saying earlier about like how you said maybe it was just too early. I think the thing is, I don't know. I just want her to have something. But like you said, I guess I guess too, it really should not have been a title match.
Mm.
I think I would have liked that a little better if it wasn't. And then, showing how she held up her own and then she wins strong because to me that finish made her look kind of weak because of that, like I said, she took all that aggression and all those other hits, one count, kick out, that little weak thing, oh, 3 count. That's like taking like 5 power travels and then you're getting them some, and then I don't know, a slap to the face, and all of a sudden, you're knocked out, and you get the pin.
I
No,
forgot.
no, 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 a European uppercut, and then you get pinned, and that's it.
Yeah. One thing I forgot what her first match was in AEW, but it rubbed me the wrong way that she won it because Penelope Ford
Yeah,
interfered.
and it bugged
And
me
I'm
too.
like, dude, that's not how you introduce like your big monster heel.
Yeah, so
Mm.
Johnny,
Thoughts,
what's your
John?
thought?
Yeah, I think this match was very good, and it was very entertaining, and I liked Megan Bayne. Like she has a very good technical wrestling style, and yeah, I kind of want to see more of her. Hopefully, they can promote her, on AEW, and yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of like split because on one hand, like Toni Storm's gonna win the match, but it would have been kind of cool if Megan Bayne win this match as well. Just for the fact it just brings something unpredictable in this freaking pay-per-view, damn it. Because like a lot of these matches we're already predicting, oh, this person's gonna win. Oh no, that person's gonna win. Oh, this is it's kind of like surprise us a little bit, so that we're not like
That would have been, yeah, that would have been a big surprise if she would have won this match.
Yeah.
And you know what? Honestly, like I said, it's a bit too early for her, but I think they would have probably made it closer if there was no title on the line. If there was no title, then it would have probably been like something close or maybe a DQ or something. But I think that's the only reason why Tony won that match.
Ironically, if it was a Owen Hart match, she would have probably had Megan Bayne beat her.
Well, that don't mean anything either.
Because that would have been like a non-title,
Yeah, 'cause it's sort of like my reasoning with Mercedes until I found out about Athena, how Athena probably wants to go against Mercedes because they had that confrontation and all that. So
Yeah.
Ooh, now that would be a good match. Bane versus Athena. That's just something to look out for.